Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in. Stacking up, green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here as always by my brother Tim. And today, small card, which I am all for a small card after this weekend, because it was yet another bloodbath yesterday, and I am ready for a light, easy day type of thing. I've made one move so far. We have, I think, 6 games in the NBA. We have Monday Night Football. We have 3 games in the NHL. We'll be going over all those games today. It was terrible yesterday. And I thought we had some good spots, and it just didn't come to fruition. It just didn't. In college basketball, start off, St. Francis winning outright as 4.5-point dogs. Wright State falls late to Robert Morris. That was frustrating there. FAU loses outright as 3.5-point favorites. So 1-2 for me yesterday in college basketball. NHL, I was off to a strong start. I checked the score at the end of the first period. I had the Detroit Red Wings -1. It was 4-0 at the end of the first. So they cruised on to win 6-2 in that game. I got the over 6.5 between Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. Lost the over 6 with Anaheim and Carolina, but holy shit, Tim. I think it was the biggest underdog to come through this year in the NHL, plus 420 on the Anaheim Ducks. And of course, I wasn't on it. The one time we see a big dog come through, of course, I wasn't on it. I was on the over, which lost, which was so much fun. And then the Dallas Stars lose to the Ottawa Senators, which was kind of surprising yesterday. 3-2 in that game. NBA for me went 1-3. 1-3 in the NBA. Got the New York Knicks -4.5. They went into, or they played Milwaukee and beat the crap out of them 140-106. Then after that, Philly +105. They blew it late. They were up heading into the fourth quarter and got beat by 9 in the fourth quarter. Lost the game 104-99. A bounce back spot, I thought, for Boston. You just got embarrassed, and you're playing the best. You're playing the worst team in basketball, and you squeak out a 1-point win against them. That's concerning if you're the Boston Celtics and you don't respond that way. First half -9, full game -14.5, double loser there. Frustrating on that one there. I thought that was one of the best bets on the board. I truly did, and I did not expect him to go out there and lay another egg. And we can consider this team being a NBA Finals favorite. If they are getting embarrassed by Sacramento and bouncing back by beating the worst team in basketball by 1 point. Actually, the Wizards might be worse, but I don't know there.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. And then a just disgusting reverse sweep in the NFL. Denver +9. That was great for the first drive. And they decided, all right, that's all the points we want to score after that. That was annoying. Green Bay +5.5. I didn't think that was the wrong bet, Tim. I also didn't have them losing, 2 offensive linemen and 3 wide receivers in that game. Like, by halftime, they were probably looking at their cheerleaders and saying, which one can you play wide receiver? Like, that was awful injury luck on that game. And I think a truly healthy Green Bay team wins that game. But you lose Romeo Doubs during that game. You lose a couple other receivers, and you were down to your 4th, 5th, and 6th string receivers. Like, ones that probably wouldn't even make it on half the rosters. And so that was incredibly frustrating. Gave the Eagles a free win, basically, in that game. So that was really annoying. I do think that, and all of a sudden now we're talking about the winner of tonight's game, playing the Eagles next week on a short week, traveling from Arizona to Philly. So that's a beautiful spot for Philadelphia, which will be the Washington Commanders. Because the Commanders are playing. Because the Commanders beat the Buccaneers. They'll be heading to Detroit next week. Detroit -9 in that game. I do think Detroit blows them out. I had the team total over 26.5, the full game over 50.5, and the game finished 23-20. So incredibly frustrating there in that game. Just an 0-4 reverse sweep in the NFL. I am ready to say good riddance to this fucking sport. It's been terrible. We finally had a competitive game in that last one, but the product for the NFL has tanked this year. And the only reason why people still watch it is because it's football. And I still watch some of the games, so it is what it is. But overall, another freaking bloodbath, and I'm tired of getting destroyed on these slates, and I need a good day. I really, really do.
We'll make it quick. Yesterday was down 10 units on the site. It was not pretty. I didn't like it. It was a shitty day. I was stupid to add the extra plays, the system plays yesterday.
What are the records on those?
They're still good this year. They were just 0-3 yesterday. We had winners were St. Francis, Red Wings -1, Knicks -4.5, the over in the Pittsburgh game. Losers, Northwestern, Wright State, over in Nuggets, Colorado, Penn State, Packers, over in Canes, FAU, Washington Wizards, over in the Cavs game, Philly +107, Boston and the over in the Washington game. So just a complete shit day. Ready to just roll on to this one.
Yep. Head over to the chat, and then we'll get into today's card.
Can we skip 446? He's being annoying.
Nope.
Okay. Quack. Oh, I'm sorry. The Ducks winning against the Canes broke my heart. Yeah, I see your comments, 446. I'm just going to choose to not get invested in going back and forth with you today. What's up, Nick Nasty? Morning, Twins. Morning, Fernando. Went 12-4. There you go. Yeah, how about those Ducks? I'm shocked Earle didn't bet it. It was at +300.
Yeah, +400.
Morning, y'all. Let's get it today. Let's do it. Stop Geo. Hey, guys. Excited to handicap NHL. Let's do it. What's up, Nicholas Handy? Higgs mad at me. Higgs unfollowed you too? I don't blame it. Let's keep smacking these books. Let's do it. I like the way you bet, Mr. Numbers. Higgs don't. Yeah, I mean, nobody people. What you want? You like laying -6,000s? That's not really betting. The Commanders never in doubt. Supness. Tim said it was going to be an ugly day, and he went for it. Shake my head. Okay. Let's just go ahead and jump into the NBA.
Yeah, we have the Washington Wizards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The line opened up 12.5. It's now a 13.5. Line opened up 225. It's down to a 223.5. So we have a move towards the under. We have a move towards the Timberwolves in this game here. Taking a look at the cash flow, where we do have 59% of the tickets and 53% of the cash is on the Wizards in this game. The line moving towards Minnesota. In this one, 83% of tickets, 81% of the cash is on the over. In this one, the line's dropping. So the under does seem a little interesting. I'm not somebody who wants to be betting unders in Wizards games. That's just something I'm not really particularly interested in. The Wizards have lost 6 straight games and 8 of 9. On the flip side, Minnesota, they're coming in off of having their 3-game winning streak snapped. They lost 127-125 against the Memphis Grizzlies. They play Golden State next, and now it'll be on the 15th. So they have a day off, and they will head home to play Golden State. I mean, there is a little bit of motivation. If you're Minnesota, you're coming in off of a loss, so you want to bounce back, and you have a really good opponent to bounce back against. and that would be the way I would look in this game. I mean, we have the market moving towards the Timberwolves, and not really many people want the Timberwolves at this number, and I understand why. And if you're Washington, I mean, this is a team that failed to cover as 15.5-point dogs against OKC. They got blown out against the Bulls. They somehow covered against the 76ers. They get blown out against Houston. This is a team that's not covering spreads. Even and I'm somebody who I believe that the worst teams in any given sports league will have point spread value because eventually nobody wants them. This team doesn't even have point spread value because they have failed to cover so often this year. They're 13, 23, and 1. And you would think a team that's getting double digits basically every game will be better at covering numbers. They're not. They're just plain simply not. This would be Timberwolves or nothing, and I'm kind of interested in laying the chalk here in this one, especially with the T-Wolves coming in off of a loss.
Well, you know my opinion on double-digit spreads. I'm not going to go after the T-Wolves today. Even if there was perceived value on it, I'm not going to lay double digits that often in the NBA, especially on a road team. It's just not going to pique my interest there. This is a game that if you want to go after anything, I think it's over or nothing. But honestly, I'd rather lean towards the nothing in this one. I feel like today is going to be a little bit more of a tighter day for the NBA. I'm not going to try to go after a lot of games. I don't think it's worth it today.
And I would actually lean under nothing. That would be the way I would lean in this game. Maybe it's a Wizards team total under because recently in their last 5 games, 105, 95, 105, 103, 112, 98. So this is a team that struggles to get over that century marker, and it's 104.5 over on Pinnacle. So I want the T-Wolves in this game. I want to write that down potentially to add it later in the day. Wolves minus 13.5 with a question mark there.
4-4-6 back-to-back contest champions for Coyote. We didn't ban everybody.
No.
It just didn't work out the way we wanted to. And guess what? Hey, it happens. We wanted to be able to do a cash prize for it.
And nobody wanted to compete for a cash prize, and it happens. Oh well.
So
nobody likes money in this chat apparently.
So there you go. Good morning. Because contest dead. Yeah, no one will be members. Told you it would ruin their. Yeah, but what fun would the contest be if there was no cash prize? Yeah,
it's just hours of grading for no prize,
and the other one, but no one took the other one seriously. It's too much work.
Exactly.
Carrington under points, under Wolves team total over contest play. There's no longer a contest. So there you go.
Nobody took it serious, so it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it was ruined. Let's move on. Golden State Warriors and Toronto Raptors. The Warriors minus 5.5, total of 228. This line opened up at a 4.5. It's now a 6. We do have a move towards Golden State in this game. Line opened up 228. It's now at 229. So we move towards the over here as well. 60% of tickets, 74% of cash is on the over. The line's moving towards it. 84% of tickets, 85% of cash coming in on Golden State. The line is moving towards Golden State at the very least. It's gone from 4.5 up to 5.5 and 6s. So at least if you like the Golden State side in this game, the line, even though the public is on Golden State, the line has at least moved towards it in this one here. We have Golden State coming in 19-19. They're 18-19-1 ATS. They're 16-22 over under. They're 9-9 on the road. They're 10-10 at home. The Golden State Warriors. They are the definition of mid. They're mid. They're 19-19. They're equal 500 there on the road and at home. The Toronto Raptors are 8-31 this year. 21-17-1 ATS. 20-18-1 over under. And they're 7-13 at home. They're coming back home after a 3-game road trip. They lost all 3 games. They covered in one of them against New York, Cleveland, and Detroit. They covered in that Cleveland game. It was a bad situational spot for the Cavs in that spot. If I'm looking at this game at all, I guess for me, it would be a lean towards an over in this game. I think Golden State could put up points in this one, especially we just saw Golden State coming in off of a game where it was the second half of a back-to-back. They rested starters, and they put up 96 points. I think offensively they can bounce back because I believe we saw Curry not play in that game. Draymond Green did not play in that game. They got decent minutes from Jackson Davis, Waters, Anderson, Heald, Schroeder. I think this is a spot where if you're looking at this matchup, I would look over because I think we get a better offensive performance from Golden State. Now, the tough part to trust is whether or not the Raptors will put up points in this game because I do think that the Raptors can struggle scoring. The team total over on Pinnacle is 117.5 for the Golden State Warriors. That's probably where I'd lean is Golden State team total in this spot, especially after scoring 96 points the previous game. That would be that or pass for me. 1 second, I'm getting a phone call.
All good. I'm going to be jumping on the Raptors. I know this is a team that I kind of go after a bunch. They've been a decent covering team this year. And when it comes to it, I'm just going to ride with them. This is not a Warriors team that I trust. Obviously, I've been on the Warrior gonna have a bad swing wagon, and boy, have they. They went from one of the top teams in the West to dog shit. They're now even 500. They're not a team that you should be trusting against the spread. The fact that I can get 6 points with them, with the Raptors at home, after a bad road trip, finally, like this would be an okay spot for me to want to back a team at home. I'm gonna be on the Raptors here. It's more of a fade of Golden State because I mean, Nick, you know my opinion on Golden State. But I'm gonna be on the Raptors here plus the 6 minus 110.
But they're the Road Warriors.
Yeah, okay. Wizards team total under. Wolves defense is elite. 105 is plus 104.5 is plus 106. We have no idea who's playing for these games, but you have to go over. Yeah, we have an idea who's playing. Over 228. Warriors are nothing. This Raptors teams haven't covered like they used to. Yeah, but now they're back at home. I feel like it's a good spot for them at home.
Yeah.
You guys know, you guys said yesterday that the Pelicans were the worst team, but they got the most of their guys now, back now. They're top. Yeah. I mean, they've been a bad team all year. They're statistically one of the worst teams in the league right now, but, yeah. Raptors are 1-5 covering their last. I know. I've covered 1 out of the last 5. I know. I tried following you on Twitter. You blocked me. I have a different name on Twitter. Wow, Mr. Numbers is blocking people? Let's head to this game, Nick. It's amazing what a year difference can do, Nick. At this point of the year, last year, I believe the Detroit Pistons were 3-39. Or 3-36.
And now 3-36. Jesus. Yeah. Now they're 20-19. They're an over 500 basketball team, Tim. They are better than the Golden State Warriors right now, record-wise.
Thank you.
What if I told you that we'd be sitting? It's January 13th, and the Detroit Pistons have a better record than the Golden State Warriors. You probably would have looked at me like I'm crazy.
Well, you are crazy.
Yeah. But let's get into it. We have the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. This line opened up at an 8.5. It's down to an 8 now in this one. We have line open up 225.5. It's down to 223.5. Move towards the under, and a slight move towards these Detroit Pistons. 53% of tickets, 52% of cash on the Knicks. And the line's moving slightly towards the Pistons in this game here. 86% of tickets, 81% of the cash is on the over here as well. How good of a spot could this be to fade the New York Knicks? Hear me out on this one. Second half of a back-to-back, third game in 4 days. Granted, they've all been at home. It's the last game of a homestand. Even though they only play one game on the road, when they hit the road here, they'll play against the Philadelphia 76ers on the 15th. So They'll hit the road for one game, and then they'll come back home to play Minnesota, Atlanta. But on the flip side, we have the Detroit Pistons. They're coming in off of a win in their last game. They were at home against Toronto. They hit the road for the first game of for one road game, and then they'll head back home to play 2 home games against Indiana, Phoenix. I think this is too many points in this game a little bit for a New York Knicks team that is coming in off of a very satisfying 140 to 106 win over the Milwaukee Bucks. Everybody just saw the Knicks do that, and now they get to play a Detroit Pistons team that everybody in their head perceives as a really bad basketball team. I'm gonna get my card started here. +8, -110 over on FanDuel. Give me the Detroit Pistons in this game at +8. I think this is a good spot for them. I think it's too many points. And you have a New York Knicks team coming in off of a very satisfying win, which I love to bet against teams from that angle, especially on the second half of a back-to-back, a third game in 4 days. And who knows, maybe they might rest a few starters tonight. So I'm going to be on the Detroit Pistons at +8, -110 over on FanDuel.
They're not going to rest any players, but we'll definitely get some value on the Pistons here. It's been a Pistons team that's been playing solid basketball. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to get 8 at -110. This is a Pistons team that I did not expect us to be saying that they're over 500 this year, which is kind of crazy. Not to mention, they've won 6 out of 7. So this is they're playing a good ball right now, and I'm going to keep riding with them. So, yeah, no, give me the Pistons here. I got them at +8.
I like it. It's a good spot for them.
Come on. All right, there we go. You guys never mentioned once the Warriors lost probably their SEC best player, Kuminga. Who cares? Okay. Knicks team total under after a 140-point game. I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Maybe I thought you were a bot porn. Okay. There are 2 units on UAB live -1.5. Did I get there?
Yeah, we were on the opposite side with FAU.
Oh, yeah. Knicks finally woke yesterday, hammered the soft-ass Bucks. Brunson is banged up, questionable. I would be on the Pistons also, contest pick. We're not doing contests anymore. I thought you swept the board 4-4-6. And why were you on the Bucks? Loyola, Maryland, kind of below the line. They should be favored by 8. They're expected to tank. I mean, they're not against a good team today, aren't they? I don't remember who they're against today. They're against American, who is 8-9, and they are what? 7-8. No, that's about right. I swept all my parlays yesterday, Cody. I wasn't on Bucks. Makes sense now. Okay. This is gonna. What happens at Nick if I told you in the beginning of the year? It's just currently the 2 and 3 teams in the West right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun matchup. We have the Houston Rockets and the Memphis Grizzlies. I feel like we just saw this matchup. Am I wrong? I think we just saw this matchup the other day.
January 9th.
Okay, yeah, we did. It was the last. I believe it wasn't the last game these two teams played. No, it was. Memphis played Minnesota after this, but this was that was the last game that the Houston Rockets played, and the Rockets went into Memphis and won as 2.5-point dogs. This line opened up as 3-point favorites for the Rockets. Now they're down to a 2. Line opened up at 235. It's at 236 now. So we have a move towards the over. We have a move towards these Memphis Grizzlies. We have 81% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the Rockets spread, 81 and 84 on the money line. The line's moving towards Memphis. I think you guys should get a little hint of where I'm going to land on this game. 73% of tickets and 63% of the cash is on the over in this one here. We have a matchup where these two teams just played a few days ago, and the Rockets went into Memphis and won. Now it's time to flip the script, Tim.
Yep.
Memphis is going to go into Houston and win. Give me the Memphis Grizzlies in this game here. You can get plus 115 over on Fanatics. You can leave the points at the 2.5 points. Is that really worth it? Or plus 115? That's the. I mean, just give me the 2.5 points. Yeah, I'm getting 2.5 over on Fanatics. You can also get 2.5 over on Bet MGM and Bet and ESPN Bet, but those are minus 115 compared to the 110 over on Fanatics. Give me the Memphis Grizzlies plus 2.5 minus 110 over on Fanatics.
I just took their money line. Short-term revenge spot for me. I kind of like to ride this angle, especially when they played 4 days ago. These are two of the best teams in the Western Conference. As crazy as that sounds, because right now the top 4 teams in the West are Thunder, everybody else. Thunder, Rockets, Grizzlies, Nuggets. Those are your top 4 teams in the in the Western Conference right now, and this could be a really good matchup. I'm going to take the plus money in the short-term revenge spot with the Memphis Grizzlies here. So going to keep on rolling my card, plus 110 on the Grizzlies.
Yep, I got plus 2.5. I like it.
Tim's still having trouble reading. Shut up. Segan over 21.5 points. Take the points with the dog and go for favorites. Take the money line. No, opposite way around. Opposite way around. We got 2 more games left, Nick.
Yeah, we have the LA Clippers and the Miami Heat. The Clippers are 6-point favorites, total of 215.5. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here. Line opened up 5.5, got down to a 5. It's now a 6 for LA. So we do a move towards the Clips. Line opened up 216.5. It's now a 215.5. Very similar situations, I believe, with the next 2 games we'll be talking about. Because I believe this will be the first game played in LA for the Clippers since the wildfires. And we'll be saying the same thing when the Lakers take on the Spurs next game. We have the Clippers. Their last game was on January 8th in Denver. And they lost 126-103. So they have motivation here. They're coming off of a blowout loss. They are dealing with the wildfires, and you would think this could be a good spot to step up when the city needs you. And on the flip side, we have the Miami Heat. They're on their 5th game of a 6-game road trip. They will head to Staples Center next game, take on the Lakers. But I think this is a spot where I don't recommend these very often, but I think you can correlate both these situational spots the same. I kind of want to do a Clippers-Lakers 2-teamer tonight. With 2 LA teams looking to step up, things along those lines. 55% of tickets, 59% of the cash is on the Clippers. Lines moving towards them. 87% of tickets, 84% of cash is on the over. I'm going to be on the Clippers straight up, like the spread in this game. I think I'll land on both LA teams tonight. And the ultimate question is, do I increase my exposure on them by tying them in a 2-leg parlay? I don't advocate for those, but I feel like the situation tonight can advocate for it. But Clippers -6 for me, -110 against the Miami Heat.
I'm very intrigued. I'm going to personally stay off of them because I don't want to be laying points on either of these teams, on either of those LA teams right now. And I kind of lean to Spurs in the next game. But I definitely see, I know I'm a big motivational spot. I know it's their first game at home since the forest fires and all that. I just can't. I'm just not going to jump on that angle this time. I just don't think I need to. It's definitely one of those spots that I probably should be on them, but I don't want to lay points on these two teams right now. If they're like more pick 'em towards dogs, yes. But at -6 and then next game -3.5, not really interested in that.
Do you think this could be a spot where it's you'd play these teams in the first quarter? Like, you
I
think
feel like first quarter,
they have
first
a little
half might be
juice
the
to
better
open
option.
up the game rather than
Yes. I could see first quarter, first half, but I'm not going to go after their full game like that.
fair. I do think the Clippers are the better side compared to the Lakers tonight. That's one thing I will say.
Thoughts on the NFL? We got the Laker game, and then we'll talk the NFL right afterwards. Clippers should win by double digits. Should. Doesn't mean they're going to.
Yeah.
But was on a losing end of my parlay yesterday. Wild. Dang. Yeah. Zubac over 13.5 points. Clippers -3. Clippers -6. I guess. I like that. Lakers and Clippers parlay. Yeah, I thought you were crazy. Ah, wow. Okay. There you go. We got one more NBA game, Nick.
Yeah, and I think this will be a spot where I'm going to my only exposure to the Lakers. I think I'm going to parlay the Clippers and the Lakers tonight because I don't like the Lakers as a side tonight, like straight up.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the line history here. It opened up at a 4, immediately went down to a 3.5, or immediately went down to a 3, but now to 3.5. So, and the 4s lasted for 7 minutes. It opened up 3:08 at a 4. By 3:15, it was a 3. Do with that as you please. It opened up at a 224. It's down to a 220.5. We do have 81% of tickets and 81% of cash in the Lakers, so they're very public. 96 and 92 on the money line. 95% of tickets, 91% of the cash is on the over in this game as well. I have a feeling this game for me, if there was no circumstances for the Lakers tonight at home for the first time through all this would be a Spurs spot for me. Mm-hmm. If I was looking at this from a market perspective, from that type of perspective, I think this is the game the Lakers step up and win them. And I'm going to put together the 2-teamer. I don't recommend parlays, but that's the only exposure I want on the Lakers tonight. Just win type of thing. So I'm going to put those together, shop around, and I'm going to be adding the LA. And if you're feeling frisky, you can add the Rams to that too. The 2-teamer. I'm going to add that.
Yeah, I just don't feel like I need to lay points on it. There's not really. I don't feel like I need to. If it was a pick'em, sure, but I actually kind of leaned more towards the Spurs. If it wasn't for the circumstances, I would probably be on the Spurs tonight. But I'm gonna end up staying off of it. Not really anything I need to get involved with.
Yep, I got plus 129 over on Bovada. Lakers -160, Clippers -245.
Here you go. Tim unfollowed me also. Yeah, because I prefer my Twitter timeline to have more than just 446 on it. Nick kept me on. He likes me better. I like him better. Yeah, that's fine. Locking in 6-point teaser. Chiefs and the Lions. Call me square.
I actually like the Lions. I gotta take a look at the Texans line there a little bit because I don't know how to approach that one yet.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I like the Lakers Clippers parlay. I'll just do that. Yeah, Gio. I didn't block him. Delta Devils in action today. Let's go Delta Devils.
I need some Delta Devils merch.
I do too. I speak my mind. You do, and that's fine. Go for it. I don't need to follow you. Talk too much. Yeah, just a little bit. National Earle. Always good to see you, Mr. Numbers. Got to go to my chat. All right, see you, Nick Nasty. This chat sucks today. Oh, thank you. Let's talk some football, Nick.
Yeah, let's get into it. The NFL. We have the Minnesota Vikings and the LA Rams in this one here. This is versus. This is not at. Obviously, those who pay attention to current events and things like that. We were just discussing it with the Lakers and the Clippers. This game was moved due to the conditions in California. They weren't able to have the game there. This line reopened up at a 2. It's bounced back and forth between 2, 2.5, 2, 2.5. Line opened up 47.5, still 47.5, and it got up to a 48 at one point, but it came back. This line before they moved the game was Vikings minus 1.5. It was a 1-point difference when it went from a Rams home game to a neutral site game. We have 55% of tickets and 60% of the cash is on the Vikings. We have 75% of tickets, 74% of cash on the over in this game for me. I played the Rams money line in this game. This was one of the spots that I had circled heading into wild card weekend that I thought was going to be one of the better spots on the card. For starters, I think this is a bad matchup for the Minnesota Vikings. This is a Vikings team that I think was exposed by the Lions last week, and the Rams finished them off this week. I also think the Rams are a little bit of a sleeper team where I think the Rams are very live to, if they win this game, to go into Philly and at least make it a game. Like, at least, because we've seen this before from the Rams. Stafford's won a ring. McVay's won a ring. And they're getting hot at the right time. So I think this could be I think the Rams would be a much more difficult challenge for the Eagles than the Vikings would. And I think this line tells you everything. It's a neutral site game. You have 14-3 versus 10-7, and you only have to lay less than a field goal with the 14-3 team. Yeah, I'm on the Rams tonight. I got it earlier in the week at plus 130. I got it when it reopened up after they moved the game at plus 130. So I'm on the LA Rams in this game at plus 130.
Yep, I'm on there with you. Just overall, I think it's a bad matchup for the Vikings. We've seen it earlier in the year, though. And you could make the argument for a revenge angle because the Vikings have lost 3 games this year. To the Lions, and to the Rams. So there you go. Those are the 3 losses for the Vikings this year. And the crazy thing is, you look at their thing, although, no, they did have a bunch of one-score games. So I guess they were actually winning one-score games this year, which is crazy to say. I know they were the king of losing one-score games last year. I'm on the Rams. I got them at plus 124. I think we finish off if there's going to be an LA team, Nick, to win tonight, here you go. Rams, playoffs, win tonight instead of the 2 LA teams in the NBA.
Yeah, this is also a spot, or also a Vikings team that, let's take a look back. They squeaked out a win versus the New York Jets. They barely beat Mac Jones and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had a late score to put them up 10 points against Tennessee. Otherwise, that was a very close game against the Titans. They went to overtime against the Bears. They barely squeaked out a 1-point win against the Arizona Cardinals. So this is a team that very well could have been 10-7, 9-8, and they finished 14-3.
Yeah. But you got to remember, this is no longer regular season. Now we get playoff Vikings. One and done.
We get playoff Minnesota, which is one and done.
There you go. Rams, LA fans will travel. I agree. I got Rams plus 7.5 to finish off your parlay. There you go. Teams that play more lose in playoffs. Almost English. Isn't this game on grass? I think so. I don't like the Rams on grass. I made my bet thinking they were at home. Well, they were at home when you made your bet.
Not true. They would have canceled out your bet, I think, when they closed it and reopened it, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm leaning Vikings.
A change in venue voids the
Rams are built for a fast track. Hate the grass. I think they'll be fine. Rams plus 124. Minnesota's ready to do what they do best. Eggs in the first round. There you go. All right.
Good old Minnesota.
Yup. Let's get to the NHL, shall we?
Yeah, we have 3 games in the NHL. We're kicking it on off with the Florida Panthers and the Philadelphia Flyers. Minus 160 for the Panthers in this game, total of 6 in this spot. My numbers have this game a little bit closer than the minus 160 would suggest. So my numbers have value on the Philadelphia Flyers in this game. I don't want the Flyers with the Panthers coming in off the loss that they did, because this was that was a game where they won. Or no, they lost. My bad. They scored with less than 3 seconds left in regulation to tie the game, only to lose the game in overtime in that game. So they stole a point there from the Boston Bruins. And now they hit the road. They've been a good road team this year, 13-7-1, the Florida Panthers. The Philadelphia Flyers, they're coming in off of a dominant win. I do not want the Flyers off of a dominant win. They shut out the Ducks 6-0, which snapped a 4-game winning streak for them, or 4-game losing streak for them, where they lost to Dallas, Toronto, and Vegas. So really no shame in the losses they had. But this is a Philadelphia Flyers team where they are now exactly where I projected them to start the year. They're in dead last of the Metropolitan Division. They're tied with the Islanders in points, but the Islanders have played one less game than them. And they are a point behind the Rangers as well. So this is a Flyers team that I think is exactly where they're supposed to be, last in the division. I have no interest in betting them in this spot, but I think this line's too expensive for Florida. And as for the total, I have this game projected for 5.99 goals. So I think the 6 is correct on that one there. No action here for me.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think I'm going to get to anything in the NHL today, Nick. I think I'm going to just try to make today a light day because I got my 3 NBA, I got 2 college basketball, and an NFL. I think I'm going to be. I think I'm going to be good with not attacking hockey today. There wasn't anything that I really liked in hockey. Tomorrow's got a big card though.
Yeah, Tuesdays generally do.
My bet is still open. They wouldn't cancel it for the new stadium. Bring it to hockey. Stop the fish fade. What fish? Who's the fish here?
What fish?
Panthers are a cat. What's a flyer? Flyers are not a fish. There's no fish playing in hockey. I think you sound like an idiot. Hashtag over. Oh, sorry, not hashtag, but fish fit, whatever. Over 5.5, minus 125 seems like a nice play. Reinhardt, anytime goal. When are you sad Mets fans going to sign? Okay, we're not talking baseball right now. I know you're trying to. I know you're trying to annoy us.
Here's the thing, though. I want to comment on that one though. It's pretty simple. His asking price is too much right now for what he's worth. I think the Mets would have no problem maybe finding a third baseman, move Vientos over to first, and then go after Vladdy next offseason. And here's the problem with Pete Alonso on why his negotiations won't work. There's no market for him anymore. The entire first base market matured on one day, and it left him out for what? It left Pete Alonso. Options are the Mets and maybe the Giants, but they got Lamont Wade at first base. What are you going to move him? Seattle, maybe, but Seattle, he's too expensive for Seattle. Seattle, I saw a thing where they're only trying to increase their current payroll by $16 million. Pete Alonso is too expensive for that, especially when Scott Boras was on crack saying that he wants for Alonso what Prince Fielder got, 9 years, $214.
He's not going to get that.
Prince Fielder was 2 years younger. He had better numbers heading into the offseason there. As much as I love Pete Alonso, I'd give him three for maybe 100 with opt-outs. That's what I would do. I'd go 3 for 95 to 100 with opt-outs. So if you have a really good year, you hit 40, 45 home runs. Yeah, you give him 3 for 100 with incentives and opt-outs after 1 year, after 2 years. You go hit 45 home runs, and then you can go get your Prince Fielder deal. You ain't going to do that with the season you had last year. Mm-mm. Moving on. Calgary Flames are at the Chicago Blackhawks. We have the Flames as minus 130 favorites, total of 6 in this game. I'm kind of on the same page with you with hockey today. I might have a play on the last game, but I'm not crazy about this hockey card. I have this game projected out of actually more minus 115, minus 120 range for the Calgary Flames. So I don't see value too much with the Chicago Blackhawks, but I don't want to lay this number on the road with the Flames. The Flames are not a team I'm laying a number with on the road, where they are 6-8-4 away from Calgary. On the flip side, I think the Chicago Blackhawks are a team I need to stop betting because, I mean, they're 2-8 in their last 10 games. I believe they're last in the NHL in points. I thought this was going to be an improvement year for them. It hasn't been. And they're coming off of back-to-back losses. This is going to be a third game in 4 days because they just played a back-to-back on the 10th and the 11th, and now they get another game here. It's not a second half of a back-to-back, but it's a 3 games in 4 days situation where I don't like to bet on a team in those type of situations. Ultimately, this is a pretty simple pass for me. If anything, over or nothing, I have this game projected for 6.23 goals. But that's not enough for me to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and bet the over in this game. So no interest for me in this one. I might have a play in the last game.
There you go. Can't wait for my to place my White Sox team total over. Got 1K on it. Going to be a fun MLB sweat for their win total.
Oh, I'm going to be with you there. I'm seeing 51.5 on DraftKings, and I was looking. And they don't have these odds out yet though. If he makes the opening day roster, I'm going to bet Noah Schultz to win the Rookie of the Year. He is going to be a nasty lefty for Chicago. Just wait.
There you go. Yeah, I heard they want to sign Vladdy next year, which is why they're playing hardball with Pete.
Yeah.
Plus, Boris is screwing Pete Alonso.
Here's the thing we've learned with Scott Boris. He is great with superstars. He is terrible with the next tier. Like, if you're a Jordan Montgomery, if you're a Pete Alonso, if you're somebody who is not Juan Soto, if you're somebody who's not the top echelon of the MLB, you don't want Scott Boris because he's not going to get you the type of numbers that you want. And we've seen it the last few years. But if you're a Corbin Burns, if you're a Juan Soto, if you're even like a Blake Snell, yeah, you want him. You don't want him if you're a Pete Alonso or Jordan Montgomery or an Eduardo Rodriguez, a mid-tier guy. Not a mid-tier, but like a second-tier
guy. Nick.
Shit. Did you send it? Can you create a Twitter so I can talk to you without going through the things? Can you just like create it for 2 days? Okay, I see it here. Yeah. I believe our money is coming in for the business account with the next 2 days or so for sales.
I don't know. That's on you.
Okay. Talk to me on Twitter. We'll get that figured out.
I'm glad to see Nick said that about the Vladdy rumors he's paying. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard not to. Hawks game under. Blackhawks. Doesn't seeing stop the fish trade get you in the mood for MLB? Well, I'm not going
to be fading the Marlins like that this year. I won't.
We're going to be betting against them, not every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 51.5 is what I'm seeing. I'll be on Noah. Also put 100 on it. I bring up MLB.
Here's the thing with Noah, though.
Hold on. 446. You were trying to poke, and the first things I see from that comment when are you sad, Mets fans? That's the first thing I hear. So that's what I'm automatically assuming, that you're trying to be a bitch. So no, that's not what I was saying. That's just the first thing I saw. So I immediately thought you're trying to be a dick. Chicago W. I don't like social media.
Yeah, I got you.
Figure it out. Nick, you need to no. Yeah, what happens when you become a member?
What?
Who are you talking to? I don't Let's finish out the card, Nick.
Yeah, we have the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings. We have the Oilers minus 175 favorites, total of 5.5 in this game. Kind of shocked me to see this at a 5.5, but not really. The Oilers have been actually a really strong defensive team this year. And I have this game projected at around minus 190 range for the Edmonton Oilers. And I have this game projected for 5.93 goals. So I see value on a little bit of value on the over and a little bit of value on the Oilers in this spot here. So maybe you could talk yourself into maybe some Oilers team total over, which will probably be in the 3 range. Let's take a look what that is. 3.5 at plus money. I do have them projected for 3.28 goals. So, I think that number is about right. But when it comes to the side in this game, I'm interested in the wow. Okay, maybe never mind. This line's continue to climb up. So we're seeing. I want to see it would be minus 185 plus 140. Minus 119 for the Oilers minus 1 in this game. That would be my lean in this spot, would be taking the Oilers on the minus 1 line. We have Edmonton. They're coming in off of, I think, a rather lackluster game that they won, but it was 4-3 against the Chicago Blackhawks as 400 favorites. Previous to that, they lost on the road as minus 220 favorites against Pittsburgh, and they continue their road trip after this. They are in LA, and then they will continue on a road trip where they will be, or no, they're home against LA. They'll hit the road for 3 games against Minnesota, Colorado, Vancouver before they head back home for a little bit of a homestand there. Last game of a homestand, I'm kind of interested in the Edmonton Oilers on the minus 1 line in this game. Don't know if I get involved with it. Light card for me today. Got 4 plays in the NBA and the NFL game, and really no interest in any of these hockey games. I'll probably be on plenty of hockey tomorrow when it's a much bigger card. But with that being said, nothing today.
Right on. I love these guys. I sent my number. Why do I have to figure it out?
No, my bad. I see it now. Sorry. Here's the thing. We get notifications for comments. I never got a notification for that one at all. For whatever reason, it never gave me a notification that you put your number in there.
There you go. All 3 NHL games go over 5.5. People think I'm mean just because I bust their chops. All for fun. Okay. Mets team total under is a big play for me. Also, once the number came out, 91.5. I don't know.
I could see them being 90 and 72 being a playoff team.
How is a Oiler game 5.5 give me over contest play?
Because they've been an under team this year. If you pay attention to the NHL, you kind of know that. They're 18, 23, and 1 to the under this year.
Because of the shutdown Kings. There you go. That is all of the stuff for today. The card is posted on the member only. If you guys are interested, sign up for that. You get the spreadsheet every day as well for that. I'm pretty sure you get Nick's NHL spreadsheet as well.
Yes.
Right, that's on there. And then eventually Nick will have an MLB spreadsheet for that stuff there.
I can't wait for baseball.
Yeah. That's going to be everything for today. I sense tension with Coyote and Nick. Don't worry, Coyote and Nick will pay up. People become members. Yes, there you go. But that's going to do it for this edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. We'll be back tomorrow. Peace out, guys.